Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom reviews. See by title below, yes, this is on episode 5 of Rewrite Season 2. And yes, I know, this is a day late. I was really busy yesterday and everything. I just did not have time. I had a whole bunch of projects and homework and errands I had to do that took prioritization over watching even this episode. You don't know how hard it was for me to, put those before this, because literally, as you guys have been watching and seeing my reviews for the second season so far, I've been pretty damn excited and hyped for how things have been going. I love the whole moon arc, and I've been really excited to see how this Terra route was going to go as well. The first episode, in my opinion, was awesome. Really like the new outlook on everything, considering, as an anime watcher only, I don't really know how everything's going to go with the visual novel. And, like how if you've, seen read the visual novel already, you already know how most of this stuff is going to happen. But seeing some stuff, like, for example, I saw some stuff how things happened in the original, in the season 1 kind of thing, and now you kind of see different things formulating now that this is a whole different route with a whole different things. Him being older, for one thing, to which someone did mention, thank you very much. I don't really remember exactly your YouTube name, but thank you for that. Pretty much telling me that I thought, honestly, when it was showed in the first episode, that he was in high school already. He's actually only in middle school, and now you see at the beginning of this episode, they do talk about how he's going to high school and everything, and that's pretty much means, that's where the timeline really is set right now. Because in my head, I was thinking, wow, all these things kind of already happened or something. What's going on there? What's going on here? And thanks to you, and of course, seeing this episode as well, and saying that he's going to high school, it kind of like positions us like, oh, so that's where we are in the timeline. It kind of, because that was kind of confusing me. That was one of the big things that was confusing me in the first episode. But yeah, another thing that I found was pretty damn awesome was that, yes, he does join Guardian. You know how I said before, the opening pretty much showed him in Guardian. I was like, is he in Guardian now? That's what's going on here. And then there was another thing. This is where I was looking more closely at the opening, and I was like, wait a minute. Pause, and then I checked this one, this one part, and it showed pretty much half the screen was him at Gaia, and the other half, not Gaia, with Guardian, and then the other half, this is where I was going with, showed him with the Gaia outfit with glasses on. That was pretty interesting to see that kind of look. I mean, he looked pretty cool, honestly. But, yeah, so does that mean that he's going to end up joining Gaia later on? This was one of the things that was really, like, I had to pause and just think about it. It's pretty funny because the episode didn't really even start yet. This is the opening still yet. But, also we see, it kind of got in my head more after watching the episode, because we see that he does join Guardian. So I was thinking to myself, what the heck? Does that mean he's in Guardian at one point and then ends up saying thinks he doesn't want to be in Guardian anymore and joins Gaia? Or is he going to Gaia for, like, undercover for Guardian? Or is it like one point he, the decision in his life, he decides to leave Guardian, joins Gaia to see a different outlook, and then leaves later on, and that's where we're in, the current, in the future kind of thing where we saw him in the army or something. I'm not really too sure how that is being placed in here, but it's definitely something that I found was like, dang, that's pretty interesting if he ends up joining Gaia as well, because then we kind of get, like, full blown, like, we get to see the Guardian side of things with him in it, and then we get to see the Gaia side of things, and then maybe after, I'm still kind of confused, because obviously that is somewhere in the future, on where he is, why the whole bond thing with him in the military. That's another huge interesting thing. Like, literally, there are all these kind of things that are literally pointing towards some pretty crazy interesting stuff that is going to be coming in the future. That's one thing, though, that does suck. Like, the openings for animes really do, like, when you really, really look into them, they're like, wow, that shit spoiled a lot of the stuff, like, literally. And the whole Guardian thing, I was already spoiled, so I kind of, like, already kind of knew that was going to happen and everything. Now I kind of know that he's going to be in Gaia sometime. I don't know. It does suck, but it's also pretty cool because you actually get to see a little bit of glimpse and think to yourself, when you don't know what's going to happen, you kind of have a inkling of it because of the opening, and you're like, that would be pretty cool if that happens. And then boom, it happened. Just like now in this episode, he ends up joining Guardian, which honestly, it was pretty cool to see him join Guardian. Like, literally, most of the episode, I will admit, it wasn't like the most craziest thing. It was definitely a lot more build up, but it was just cool to see him actually joining Guardian, seeing some of the people that we've seen in Guardian before, but all of them younger and being with him in a group, So that was just pretty crazy to see. That's one of the big things that I've really been interested in seeing for the Terror Root is, of course, the whole, he's older this time, so it's pretty crazy to see him along with people that were older than him before in the season 1 kind of thing, in the common route. Other than that, of course, the beginning part, obviously, there was a huge conversation, not huge, but it was a conversation that he had with Kashima Sakura, to which this is one thing that we already know after seeing the whole Guardian part of this episode, is that they always knew, and pretty much they knew about, saw him during his Earth-saving hunter kind of thing. So they already knew, he was doing that kind of stuff, and he had powers. Which begs to, differ. Does that mean that Sakura knew as well? Probably. That's why she brings him in, starts asking him all these kind of weird questions, and, she was surprised at the end because of him. Like, there's this weird thing that was happening in the episode with him having this, like, a flame pops up, and it's like a premonition or something with a bunch of, like, different choices going through, and then all of a sudden it comes to this one choice, and obviously it surprised her. She did not expect that, and this happens later on in the episode as well man, oh man, it had to happen for this part as well, with Kotori and her parents pretty much leaving on their trip, to which, of course, we already know what's going to happen. That's one thing that's pretty cool to, already know. Like, before, we never knew this was going to happen. But now that, for an anime watcher only, you watch the first season and the common room and everything, you know that the parents are going to die in an accident kind of thing. So now you see that he has this premonition kind of thing where it says, don't let them go. And you're like, oh my gosh, is he really going to save her? Save the parents? Is this really going to happen? No, because he says maybe you guys shouldn't go today. But honestly, he doesn't know what the hell this thing is in his head. He doesn't know what the hell, why he thinks that and everything. He has nothing to back it up. He has nothing to say, you should just, maybe there might be some bad things happening, or, bad weather or something. So he ends up just, like, putting a sign, like, letting them go. And it's just so sad, especially considering, she pretty much asks him and everything to go with the festival for him, with her and everything, take her around, and, he's her only friend kind of thing. And it's so sad, because that means, unlike, the common route with him, pretty much when, the whole thing happens, she ends up finding Kotaro and, heals him and everything, and that's why he ends up staying, to her age and everything. This time, he's not going to be here. He goes and joins Guardian, which means this whole accident thing happens, and she's going to be all alone with no friends. That's literally so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, poor Kotori. Like, literally, come on. Why they got to do that, But yeah, pretty much that's the big thing with the whole beginning part of the episode was the whole Sakura, the Kashima Sakura thing. She obviously knows something about Kotaro, to which, there was the whole thing with her creating him or something like that in the moon route kind of thing. So I'm not too sure if that still applies to, being here and everything. Probably not. So I'll just put that on the side for now. But yeah, there was that whole part. There was the whole part with Kotori. And then finally, after the rest of the episode, was him joining Guardian. All the build-up kind of stuff to what's going to be coming. More of the flame kind of choices thing, to which this is what my take on it. I'm not too sure, obviously, like I said before, anime watcher only, so I don't really know fully what's going on. But I'm guessing that flame thing, the flame, that you can just kind of put the flame away and not really think about that. But it shows a whole bunch of different choices until it comes to this one choice, which ends up pretty much being the correct choice, as you saw with the Kashima Sakura conversation. It happened with the Kotori conversation, and then of course it kind of helped him along with his fight with Isaka, to which it kind of did, he was not ready for that, and that's why he thought at first that it was Kotaro's power, to which of course obviously it is not his power. His power is, his rewrite ability and everything. So obviously I'm thinking that this kind of thing is all his previous lives before coming together into one point to finding the correct choice that he made somewhere along in his past lives or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. I may be completely wrong. Don't need to put that, like, all of a sudden, you're a stupid, dumb idiot kind of thing. That's not what it is. I don't know. That's just my guess on everything, on this whole flame premonition event kind of thing. No spoilers as well, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking it is. Other than that, yeah, like I said, it was pretty much just Kotaro going to Guardian training, everything. It's pretty cool to see that at least they didn't make him just use his rewrite ability and become the best of the best. I like him having to, have to fight for it. Him not just letting, taking the easy way out and everything. And it just shows that he doesn't really fully grasp, what his power is. Because at first he thought it was just a blood controlling kind of thing. And then he realized, wait a minute. This wish thing, this rewrite, it's like rewriting my abilities, my powers. What is that? But maybe I shouldn't be using it as much. And yeah, you shouldn't be, because I forget if they mentioned it before, but I know that someone did. Like, I'm kind of confused on what people, mentioned to me and what I saw in the first season, considering the first season was honestly a mess. It really was a mess in my opinion. It was just sped up like crazy, and a lot of things just all happened with a ton of questions. So I'm pretty sure someone told me that when he uses his powers, or maybe they did show it, I'm not too sure, whatever. I think Sakuya might have told him, but pretty much when he uses his powers more and more, it pretty much takes away from his life or something like that, right? So I'm guessing, obviously that's a good choice in not just using your abilities like any kind whenever you want, like you were doing when you were on your Earth-saving, adventure. It's pretty funny that at first, I forget what his name is, the guy with the red hair, was like, oh, man, Isaka helped, chose you? You must be really good, like hero kind of thing. And he's all nice to him and everything. And then the next moment, they figure out their rankings and he's dead last. And he's like, all of a sudden treating him like kind of like crap and everything. Oh, why don't you go do this? Oh, you're useless. You don't have powers or do it. It's like, damn, man, that guy just flip flop all over the place. But he was pretty funny in the first season, so I can't wait to see him, Kotaro working more with him, because he honestly is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, other than that, in this episode, it was pretty much just like I said, just the building up to the point. Looks like that, they're finished with their training and everything. Isaka is planning on doing something back at, their old town and everything. So that probably means that Kotaro is going back. Now this is where I'm kind of confused. I'm not too sure. How long was the training? Was it just weeks? Was it months? Has it been years? That's my big question, because I don't really know where this is all, going. How long has it been that Kotori has to have been alone kind of thing? How long has it been since Akane was left in the care of Kashima Sakura? And then it's going to be also, like someone told me, that she was an orphan, illiterate and everything. That's why she only knows how to say Papa. Like, how long has it been? How much have, the rest of the gang grown, really? Like, are we gonna see? I know someone said that we're not, they're not really a big part of this. Chihaya, Shizuru, Lucia, and everything. So that's kind of sad if that really is true. But if there's been a huge time gap, maybe they will be, So yeah, if one of you guys can tell me though, how long has the training been? It's not really a spoiler and everything, considering, we got to see the whole training. It's already ended. It's not really a big surprise on if it's been like years, months, or just weeks and everything. So they don't look like they're any older, so I'm guessing maybe weeks. It could be months. No, more on the long of months, not years though. So I'm guessing when he does end up going back, which is going to be the next episode, considering that's pretty much what it ended on, with Isaka saying he's going on that mission and everything. So he's probably going to want to go. So it should be interesting to see him going back, see how Akane is now, see how Kotori is now, see pretty much just what the main objective is for the next episode, considering before that, we knew, I had a feeling he was going to join Guardian and everything. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. And now that we do know he joins Guardian, he has his training and everything, he's probably going to have some type of big mission and stuff that he's going to end up joining. But still, there is a lot of things that I still have in my head, like the whole him joining Gaia thing and a number of other things that I could be, I'm pretty interested in seeing what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say. Overall, a good build-up episode, a good episode to show these new concepts with the whole, premonition kind of thing, the whole thing with him looking more into his powers, the whole thing with Guardian, with Kashima Sakura and everything. So yeah, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it wasn't maybe the most exciting episode of things, like some people in the forums were like, oh, I didn't really think it was that good. It was kind of not that exciting and stuff, but I thought it was really good. It was really interesting in my opinion. I did like, I'm just enjoying the whole thing overall, how everything is going so far differently from what we've already seen in the, season one, and how everything is changing in these different paths, and how different things can happen now that we've seen, you know, some spoilers from the opening as well. But yeah, I can't wait to see next week's episode. Once again, another awesome episode. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Is anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Until next time, see ya.